Los Angeles Rams and New England Patriots are going to the Super Bowl. The two teams will face off in Atlanta on February 3rd after beating their respective opponents in historic overtimes. It was the first time that both the NFC and AFC championship games went to OT. But a controversial no call is making headlines today. Late in the fourth quarter of the Rams-Saints game, Los Angeles cornerback nickel Robey-Coleman ran into New Orleans receiver Tommy Lee Lewis before the ball arrived. No flag was thrown. Bill Reiter joins me now to discuss that play and what's ahead. He's the host of Reiter's Block on CBS Sports HQ. Hi, Bill. Great to see you. So let's start with that controversial no call. After the game, Saints head coach Sean Payton said he spoke with league officials and they told him the refs, quote, blew the call on that play. So is this something we're going to be talking about for years to come?
Certainly, if you're a cursed Saints fan, you're going to be, because I know we forget sometimes the injustices and the bad luck that are done to sports teams. It's only the champions we remember. But, Tanya, that really is, it may be the most egregious and the worst blown call in the history of the NFL, because if they make the right call there, it is the Saints and Drew Brees and his legacy going to the Super Bowl in Atlanta instead of that young and promising Rams team.
Yeah, and before that play, the Rams were putting on quite the comeback. They started the game down 13-0. How were they able to cap off the upset in New Orleans?
Yeah, I mean, give all the credit in the world to Sean McVay, the very young 32-year-old head coach. To put it in perspective, the first time Tom Brady and Bill Belichick were in a Super Bowl, the coach of the Rams was a high school quarterback, still in high school, still playing high school football. He's a remarkable steward of that team. And Jared Goff, his sixth ever comeback win or tie in a fourth quarter overtime, was very composed at the end of that game. It was a team effort. And while it's a blown call for the Saints, certainly the Rams earned the right to go to Super Bowl 53. It was incredible.
Right,
52.
And for better or for worse, and that's a done deal. So let's turn now to the AFC Championship game. Kansas City came back from 14-0, but Tom Brady and the Patriots were just too much in the end. What stood out to you from that game, Bill?
There's a couple things, and you know, I lived in Kansas City for a long time, and they're also that is a very cursed franchise. Patrick Mahomes led that team in his second year and his first year as a starter down the field to tie that game. But when the coin flip went to the Patriots in overtime, you knew that Brady was going to do what he always does. And another, I think, stunning stat, Tanya, Tom Brady in his career, 47% of the seasons he has played in have resulted in he and his team being in the Super Bowl. Put that in perspective, Eli Manning, who'll probably be a Hall of Famer, has only made the playoffs in 40% of his seasons, just the playoffs in the NFL. Tom Brady is the greatest we've ever seen. We take it for granted, but we saw again last night where there's no one you want to see have the football if that's your team, or you don't want to see have the football if it's not your team, when the game and history and the Super Bowl berth are on the line.
So Tom Brady is the GOAT. Is that what you're saying, Bill? He is the GOAT.
Look, it's as painful for me to say as I know it is for a lot of people who aren't in Boston to hear, but he is, and the stats back it up. And again, last night, to do what he did at the end of regulation, in overtime, at the age that he's at, it's Jordan. It's Michael Jordan-like, in that at this point, there's no other outcome to expect other than Brady's going to just do the impossible again and again and again.
Amazing. All right, so Brady and head coach Bill Belichick are used to this Super Bowl stage, but Rams QB Jared Goff and head coach Sean McVay are not. So what are you looking forward to most in this matchup? And do you see Brady getting that sixth ring?
Yeah, it's such a study in differences, because McVay and Goff are so young and such at the beginning of their careers, and Belichick and Brady are certainly near the end of their careers. The Rams opened as 1-point favorites. They're now 2-point underdogs, so all the money is moving to the Patriots. The public loves the Patriots. Usually the public's wrong, but not in this case. I mean, I'm not betting against New England. This is only the third time in the history of the NFL that a team has made 3 consecutive Super Bowls and won at least one of them. The other was in the 70s, was the Dolphins. And I think the Patriots are going to complete the task. Every team that makes the Super Bowl is great. That includes the Rams. But we saw against that Chiefs team, New England is just special, almost magical, when it matters most. They're not fazed by the moment, and I'm certainly not betting against New England, Tom Brady, and the hoodie Bill Belichick.
All right, so we have to ask you quickly about CBS broadcaster Tony Romo and what's in his secret sauce. I mean, the former Dallas QB predicted several plays in the Patriots-Chiefs game. Baseball star Bryce Harper joked on Twitter, confirmed, I just called Tony Romo to see where I'm going to play next year. Hashtag you're a wizard, Tony. So how impressive was Romo's play calling? Where does he get this from?
I mean, unless he's an actual psychic, right? It is amazing. I was sitting there with my kids watching it, and my son, who's 6, Henry, goes, Daddy, how does he keep predicting this? And I said, buddy, your guess is as good as mine. In fact, a friend of mine who's a Hall of Famer, Andy Roddick, the tennis player, always gets on me for being, he thinks, a little hyperbolic. And he sent me a text today that said, too soon to call Tony Romo the greatest sportscaster of all time. So when curmudgeons like Andy Roddick are saying things like that about Tony Romo, it really is a pretty remarkable statement on just how clued in he was to the point he was calling play after play after play as it unfolded.
Right, Bill Reiter, very exciting stuff. Thank you so much for your time.
Anytime.
And don't forget, you can watch Bill's show, Writer's Block, every Monday through Friday at 5 p.m. Eastern, only on CBS Sports HQ.